Hey, what's up guys? Brian Ellwood. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you guys about something that I learned the hard way. So when you go and buy rental properties, one of the scariest things that you can run into is a foundation issue, right? That's like everyone knows that, even if you're not an investor. If you were just going to go buy a house to live in and the report came back and was like, there's cracks in the foundation, you're going to freak out and probably run the opposite direction, right? So when I first got into flipping houses and buying rentals, I would literally just send a contractor in. They'd be like, yeah, paint, carpet, we'll fix it up and it'll be nice and ready to go. And we'd say, okay, cool, and buy the house. And then a few times, we discovered that there was actually foundation issues and it was going to cost $10,000 extra to fix, which would have totally killed the deal. And in a couple of those scenarios, we sold the deal and we lost thousands of dollars just having to sort of back our way out of the deal, without rehabbing it, just sell it to another investor who, whatever, was willing to use a different strategy. But it was really painful to lose a bunch of money. And so, the lessons that are the most painful are the ones that really stick with you. And I've gotten pretty serious about this whole foundation thing, right? And so I'll tell you the process that I use now to at least limit my risk of running into having another foundation problem. So we will have a contractor still go over there and check out the foundation on every house we buy. But if I'm really going to buy it, I'll go ahead and get a professional home inspection done where someone crawls up under the crawl space and really looks close at the foundation and sees what's going on. If that person notices anything about the foundation and says, hey, look, there's some issues going on, I recommend that you hire a structural engineer to come in and look at this, then I'll go ahead and do that, even if it costs another $500 to have that person come over and do a full inspection of the foundation and whatnot, okay? It's worth paying all this money to make sure you buy the property right, and so I'll do that. And then I'll know, at that point, I'll know really what's going on. I may get a foundation company specifically to come out and bid on the work. Contractors can fix foundations. They can put cinder blocks and 4x4s, and they could put new beams underneath. They can prop the foundations up and stuff like that. But sometimes it's helpful to get a bid from a company that specializes in foundations, although that can be, they can charge a good bit more. And then another thing, guys, that I learned recently, not super long ago, and I feel so stupid for not knowing this, is that the drainage situation at a house is highly linked to foundation issues, okay? By drainage, I mean when it rains, where is the water draining, okay? Is it properly draining out away from the property? Or is the property is the water draining into the ground right where the house is, okay, right at the foundation? So if you see the siding on the house and then the blocks start, that the foundation is, if the water's seeping in right where those blocks are at the base, where you might have a bed of bushes or mulch, that's the worst possible place for the water to be going in. Because what happens is it's going in and it's making that dirt wet right underneath where your foundation sits. And when that dirt gets wet, it sinks, which means the foundation, the actual concrete blocks, sink, and it causes the whole house to sink over time, okay? And that leads to cracks in your foundation, cracks in your drywall, and all this stuff. So what I've really started to do is get really serious about these drainage problems at houses. And my motto is keep water away from the house, okay? So one of the first things I'll do is make sure that the gutters are working properly, that they're not clogged and they're not old, and they're properly pointed away from the house. They have those little downspout things with the, I don't know what the little piece is called, but it directs the water when it comes out of the gutter and away from the house, right? I will build the mulch beds up. So if you have a front yard that slopes down, and then it connects with the house, you actually want to build that slope up, bringing in dirt, bringing in mulch. And so the water kind of gets diverted away from the house, or it goes into the ground further out from where the foundation actually is. Okay. And that's another thing about gutters. If your gutters are full and clogged, instead of draining down the pipe, it'll literally just fill up the gutter and then spill over the edges. You've probably seen that before. Like it's like the gutter is like spilling over like a waterfall almost. And that water is just going into the ground right at the base of the foundation again, which is again one of the reasons why you have foundation problems. Also, we will install like a French drain, which is like outside. You dig a trench in the ground. You put a big pipe down in the trench. You drill holes in the pipe, and then you put more pipes in that direct the water away. And you fill that hole up with like rocks or something. And basically the water will seep through the rocks into the pipe that you drilled holes in. And then it'll go out the other pipes wherever they're directed, which would likely be like along the side of the yard, in down the slope into the backyard, out away from the house. So French drains, like, it's like lots of digging. It's like a bunch of trenches in your yard and pipes, and it can cost a few $1,000, but it's worth it. And you would factor that into your numbers up front. It would be part of your rehab budget. So, if the deal doesn't work because the French drain costs, you offer less money. You always offer whatever you need to offer to make the deal work, where you get all the work done. Okay. And then I recently learned about something, what is it called? It is called, sorry, I have it on my notes right here. It is called a positive drain. And a positive drain is something that apparently you can put it underneath a house, like in the crawl space. You can dig out trenches like along the edges of the foundation on the inside, and you can put pipes in. And when water gets underneath the house, it actually gets piped out of the crawl space. That's called a positive drain. And I'm about to get one of those installed on a house I have in Clarksville. Okay. And, like there's other things you can do. Like, if you look at the foundation, sometimes you see those little vents inside of the block, and you can open or close them. So the purpose of those is to provide ventilation to your crawl space. And if it's like really wet in there, if those vents are open, the circulation helps it dry out. And if they're closed, the water just sits there because doesn't have any ventilation drying it out. Another thing is, like, if you have rentals somewhere where it's really hot in the summer, wood will actually sweat. Wood sweats when it gets really hot and produces water. And without ventilation, that the wetness doesn't dry, and it can allow the wood to rot. The moral of the story is you want proper ventilation, proper drainage from the gutters. You want any drains in the yard that you need, so that the water like stays away from your foundation, away from your crawl space. And if it does get there, it dries really quick. And so really think about drainage, guys, when you buy rental properties. It really, really matters as far as protecting your foundation. And protecting your foundation is like protecting your investment. Okay. Really, really important. So I hope that helps, guys. And if you guys are interested in being coached by me, I coach a small group. We meet twice a week. I coach inside of a closed Facebook group. You guys can sign up for one-on-one coaching calls with me. Inside of that, you get swag, all these other cool bonuses. Go to myfirst12houses.com to check that out. And I will see you guys next time. If you have any topics that you want me to do videos on, just put it in the comments down below, and I'd be happy to abide and appease you and give you what you need. All right. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.